Let's talk about marketing modernization. In the world of all things AI, and just as transformation is happening so quickly, how are your clients navigating that and finding their path forward?
Somewhere along the way, marketing as a discipline got really, really hard, and organizations didn't really adjust. We brought in technology. We said, wouldn't it be great if we used data? But then we needed to also look at our people and processes and the operating model.
I think this flavor of marketing modernization is a little different from flavors past because of an ever-increasing focus that generative AI and agentic has put on process. I think in prior eras of transformation, it's been a really big focus on technology, right? Mm-hmm. What's that new shiny tool? Yep. Whether I need to build it or I need to buy it or I need to license it.
I've been talking with clients about personalization for I feel like 2 decades now. We keep shaving off pieces of this problem that block us from getting to true personalization. For me, where I've always seen the roadblock was in the content production. And it's you can know all the things you possibly need to know about your customers, but if you can't produce enough content to actually give them a better experience, it all falls apart. So I think that's what I'm really excited about with agentic. I mean, maybe now is finally the time we reach personalization at scale.
When I talk to clients, it's this befuddling conundrum. You have half of my clients who are full on the gas. They see the promise. They see the promise of efficiency, of personalization at scale. And you've got the other 50% of those same clients that are full on the brake. I do a lot of work in regulated industries. And so there's a lot of concern around, are we really ready to turn all of this over to large language models, to agents, things that we couldn't even do as humans? Are we ready to truly turn that over to agents?
How do marketers make the right bets? There's so many tools to choose from. There's so many places you can start. How do you make the right bet? And you almost get this paralysis of doing nothing. I feel in a lot of my client conversations, marketing is coming under increased scrutiny by the CFO. And I think agentic and AI is contributing to that because we're seeing how much easier it is to trace back decisions and understand the outcomes.
The expectation that marketing is driving outcomes, I think, has been around now and sort of a reality that many CMOs are facing for the past 5 to 10 years. I think if anything, there should be broader excitement around the prospects that generative AI and agentic can offer in order to make it more attainable, to show meaningful operational savings and efficiencies.
You're absolutely right. I see the same thing. CFOs are definitely asking the questions. I have clients that spend $3 or $4 billion just on measured media every single year. And you see these broad trend lines around Gen AI and tech and data-driven marketing, the science of marketing, and it raises this C-level agenda item that goes along the lines of there has to be a better way, 100%.
And I think similarly, what I would add is that brands in turn need to have more scrutiny onto their partners as well, because what you see is agency partners playing similar lines as marketers themselves in terms of generating more efficiency and more savings through the use of generative AI and agentic tools. And so it's really incumbent to include your agency ecosystem and set of partners in going back to a CFO and being able to show a more effective use of budget. We're all in this together, and it's not just about reducing operating costs in-house, but also reducing the amount that you're spending and getting more for that amount that you're spending with your external partners as well.
Agreed. Marketing's getting a seat at the table like never before, which I think is really positive outcome. But with that comes increased scrutiny and accountability to show us how the dollars are working.
I have to say, I'm really bullish on the future of marketing and marketers. Every marketer I know has complained about not having enough time in the day to do everything that he or she is being asked. And I think this is a real opportunity to sort of kick your organization into overdrive and to be finally able to put aside some of the rote, repetitive tasks that really, bog you down in the day-to-day, to focus your team on testing, on innovation, on bringing new things to market.
I think one of the use cases that I feel is often underappreciated or undervalued is around the brief generation. Like you talk about the mundane tasks and just like the exhaustive effort that goes into writing a good brief. First, you got to find the files, then you got to synthesize them. And so, like, I think the brief generation, if we look at what we can do with agents now to summarize insights from past campaigns, we look at what LLMs allow us to do in writing briefs.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot where it's literally surfacing insights that humans just weren't catching, which for my clients sometimes leads to a rethinking of their segmentation model, a rethinking of their value proposition, the channels through which they reach audiences. So absolutely right. It's not just summarizing notes and getting into a brief, but it's truly unearthing insights that are then actionable that we can do something with in market.
I think it's interesting because just with any new technology, the first thing you think of is running a pilot. There's certainly time and place for that with any new technology, reduce the risk. The challenge with that is because generative AI is so embedded in ways of working, it's one of those technologies that can't just be piloted by a small group and for a brand to expect to see that one group just suddenly change ways of working for the rest of their organization.
Change is hard. It's the right approach is carrot and stick. I think from a carrot perspective, you need people to see the benefit to themselves, to the organization of adopting these tools. But I don't think carrot alone gets you there. I think at some point, because change is hard, because people will resist and there's some amount of inertia, you need just the right amount of stick to kind of get people on the learning curve and on the ladder.